Thank you for joining us in our final video in an Air Raiders series, taking a look now at prices, or at least what they generally run online. eBay specifically. You can find them in other places, but eBay has a consistent supply. So your average Air Raider here is going to be $2, or at least that's what you want to set your price range at. Folks are going to be asking something ridiculous because they don't know what they're doing. But being savvy is part of being a collector. So little information to get you started off here. You can get these guys in bulk. You can get them in lots. You can also find people trying to sell them individually for $4.95 or more each. And sometimes, most of the time, you'll see them in 3-packs, 4-packs, however many of a handful this person has. Sometimes you can find the Air Raiders figures in groups of 50 or more, depending on how dedicated this person was, and the price is generally reflective of how motivated they are to get rid of these things. Because if they're parting with them, of course, they're not or are no longer collecting them. So a lot of times if you see something out there for a best offer, go ahead and toss an offer out there. See what you can do. I always try because I'm trying to keep the cost down on these, especially when you purchase as many as I have in the last 5-6 years maybe. But all of the figures here, I'm putting on a little turntable just so you can get a good look at them. And the general rule of thumb is, $2 each for your basic, Air Raider and your Tyrant figure. $3 each generally for your vehicle drivers, pilots, what have you there. And then once you get a little bit above that, it starts to, fluctuate a little bit more as far as the range goes. But how much you spend is also going to, depend on how much you want to get it at that time. Do be mindful of paint applications, sunwear. Sometimes sunwear can be a little bit misleading. We'll talk more about that in a second. But you definitely want to make sure that if you're paying a little bit more for your figure, that everything is scratch-free, unblemished, and standing correctly. Sometimes you can find folks who spent their life in a vehicle for probably the last 40 years and might have a little bit of a limp or a little bit of a bend to the knee that really shouldn't even be there. These are getting into the upper echelon of figures now. So Admiral Fury, of course, is got kind of a wide range here because he's got a lot of paint applications, and I've seen many figures suffering from various degrees of wear. And so this figure I paid just about the minimum price there, but that's just because I was savvy and I acted fast. Folks will ask ridiculous prices. Don't play into their game. You can wait, and somebody's going to put it up there for something decent. So just hold on. Same goes with Jolt and Aerosar here. So as you can see, my specimens here are really, really clean, really nice looking. The paint is 100% intact and wonderful. The colors are fantastic. Hasn't spent a lot of time in any kind of ultraviolet light. Of course, the same for Aerosar here, and just looks gorgeous. And these guys do have a lot of paint applied to them, and especially with Aerosar here over that gold plastic. Sometimes flaking is just nature of the game. Once in a while, you'll see an oddity pop up, a strange figure. First, I thought this might have been sun faded, so I purchased it in a lot, but turns out it was There was a little bit of orange plastic that must have gotten into the mold for it, and they produced it. But you can tell it's just a little bit more dark than your regular orange, so there's probably a bead or two of purple that got mixed in with it. So your battle packs here are going to be pretty much what you want to get. If you want something nice looking, you'll pay a little bit more. Thunderclaw, you can get this puppy cheap. There are so many of them. It's a very prolific one. Same for the Storm Dagger. Storm Dagger, though, be careful. The canopy is often, the part that mounts the canopy is often broken. Windrazor, keep your eyes out for the wheels. You can get it as low as $15, but you're not going to have any wheels and maybe not any attachments. Windseeker, another one you can find pretty cheap. Sometimes I've seen these at $5. But of course, with nothing, no wheels. Twin Lightnings, it's going to be the same thing. You can get them cheap, but they're not going to have any canopies. Going to be missing missiles. The skis might be there, but askew. Hawkwind, lower prices on these. Of course, the high end of the prices here are something that's kind of in a sealed box. But the lower price on those, you're going to have that snapped clip in the front. Dragon Winds, various things, bent cannons. Keep the prices low on those missing pieces. You're most often going to be missing a glider. Thunderhammer is it's easy to get, but you've got broken clips down there on the bottom on the skids. Command Outpost is often going to be missing a lot of pieces if you get one for on the cheaper side, but that makes it easy to get an additional one for parts. Man of War, the tough one to find. Generally, when you see these, they're pretty complete. And then the second part of the video here is about repairing Air Raiders vehicles. And the sad truth is, not a lot you can do. Your best bet is to just get another one cheap with the part that you're looking to repair intact and just swap it out. And that's pretty universal across here. I haven't had any success with Hawkwinds. I haven't had much success with Thunderhammers, that's for sure. And certainly not with the Storm Dagger canopy part, because the plastic in here, it's varying degrees of quality. Some of it's more rubbery and greasy than the rest. But one thing I did manage to repair here, because I used a second one for parts, is the Man of War. So this was my first one. Pump was pretty intact, but when I tried to use it the first time, there was no pressure holding inside the system, so something was off. And then there's the way the air system is set up in here. There's a small reservoir that connects to the top of the stem that sticks down for the air distribution system right there. A very small container. And then the rest of the system down below feeds that. So it's an equalized pressure system between that smaller container and the larger bits here. And so when you press down on the button, it releases what's stored in the smaller container, and then when you let up on the button, the system equalizes again. So you get that thing recharged, but at a lower pressure. Taking a look in here, it's a little bit strange. There are two connections to the actual stem. One is from the main cylinder here, the reservoir, and the other one is to, of course, that smaller load that you get. It's kind of compact in here, and you can't get a lot of maneuverability because the blue cord for the motor is a bit restrictive and short. So there's a look at the stem. The connection points for the air tubes are pretty intact on top. The bottom one that connects to the reservoir has snapped, but a little super glue did it right. Just was very ginger with that the rest of the way. So this is the one that I'm replacing. You can see the connections are all just like chipped out. Nothing can connect there. As a matter of fact, when I tried to remove this from that vehicle, I got a nasty surprise when that whole thing just snapped out on me. But gives us a unique look inside the mechanism itself. So you can see when you press down there, you got that little gasket in between that cuts off the air supply from the main system, and it just feeds it from that top nodule, which has been forcibly removed, and then that goes out to your airlines. Here is the one from my first. It's pretty clean. And then this is the repaired unit. Just a couple bits of super glue here and there, and she's good to go. The dial is strong and healthy, and it feels like it doesn't have any cracking. I'm gonna say that hopefully. But when I go ahead and install this, of course, there's gonna be a lot of trial and error just to make sure things get correct. But we'll go into that right now. Actually, we'll get it in through the top here. So when you insert this and when you remove it, it's required of you to twist it because it kind of locks into place. So when you first insert it, there's room enough in the front. There's a slot there for the air connections to slide through. Of course, they probably didn't have that glue on there to connect with the tubes when they inserted it the first time, so it was a little bit tough with that on there. But once you insert it in, you twist it and you lock it into place. That'll leave your connection points facing forward in your Man of War here. When you have that, you can just kind of slide your tubes back over. Amazingly, the connection holds really well. Not so much air pressure in the system that it launches these things off. That fact that that's held up for so long so well is kind of amazing. But you can kind of see towards the middle bottom of the screen here those white marks on the inside of the dark red plastic of the top of the Man of War. That is from extended exposure to the different plastic or rubber that the airlines are. So it kind of ate away at it over time. And of course, when you get everything set back in and you're ready to go, do make sure you check for kinks, check for alignment, make sure everything's going to set back down in here correctly, because there's no dedicated space for these things to run through, so it's all kind of cattywampus in there, and you just kind of have to make sure it all stays contained. And then also, before you decide to sew this thing up, screw everything back together, test the system just to make sure you don't have to reverse everything and then go find where the issue is after the fact. So even right here, I've got a little bit of an issue. I'm not getting a lot of air out of the end of the tube, so I go back in and I see that I've got a kink there. So just kind of massage that out. That's what you have to do with most of your issues with the aerators tubes. Just kind of massage it out, and it'll gain its form again, but it will be prone to slipping back, so just be aware of that. So now we've got good pressure there in that pump. It kicks back. It's holding so much air now. So we're good to go. Now it's just reversing the process, making sure you get the sliding canopy cover, the button for the air system, and everything else back in line. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with us through this aerator series. Now I'm going to go do some smaller, more fun videos over time when I feel like it, because, I can't.